First is forecasting techniques generally assume that the same underlying causal system that existed in the past will continue to exist in the future. What that is saying that we assume a certain steady state, whether it's like an ESS, whether it's a 5-year demand that held consistently at allowing us to generate revenues at a rate of $1,200,000 per year, or and that had a certain regularity that historically we were able to show or that we assume, or let's say that there's a downturn, just like what has happened recently in the Ukraine and in the world with the war between the Ukraine and Russia, that that has negatively impacted things and changed the outlook and forecast. This one's a bit hard to do, but for example, Russia is a major supplier of oil in the world. And Russia now, because it's being sanctioned, it may to some degree have its oil industry impacted. Russia also, interestingly, is a world, a high level world producer of wheat. People need, or people rather, countries need wheat produced from Russia, but because of sanctions that have been imposed by, I assume, NATO, the European Union, and the United States, that now countries that could have expected supply from Russia now still have potentially high levels of demand, but no supplier, meaning Russia can't supply them, because if a country buys wheat, as an example, from Russia, they're going to face a sanction from NATO, the United States, or the European Union. So this is an example where in the past, a country or countries could assume a certain regularity to their demand for commodities like wheat or steel or aluminum. Some of those things are affected by things such as war. And that's the only thing I want to point out with these so-called common features to all forecasts. First, that there's often a certain regularity to as an assumption of forecasts. Second, forecasts are not perfect. They're estimates. They're based on models. Models are never 100% accurate. Or stated differently, models are always have error.